So Lewis Moody, now retired of course, former England captain, Leicester Tigers and Bath. We're into the autumn internationals, which I'm sure is very interesting for you, but you're not sitting around doing nothing. You've already got a big project, which perhaps you'd like to tell us about.
Yes, I am undertaking a trek across the Arctic Circle. It's the Yukon, it's very north of Canada. It's 300 miles, has to be completed in 8 days. It's called an ultra marathon. Temperatures get as low as -20, -50 last year. So there's a lot of preparation and time going into it, and we're attempting to raise as much money as possible for a charity that I've been a part of for about 6 years called Hope HIV, and we set ourselves a goal of 300,000, which is, you know, reasonably large in what is now 3 months until we do it less actually. Okay,
so obviously you're going to be supporting a charity that you've done a lot of work for. There are lots of ways of supporting a charity, not necessarily doing the Yukon. How many miles?
300.
300 miles in 8 days.
So it's like 2 marathons a day for 8 days.
So is this something that you've been actually quite interested to do anyway, or was it a completely out of the blue proposal? I mean, how have you got onto this?
So Phil, the founder of the charity, came to me. He's turning 50 this year, so he wanted to do something a bit challenging for his 50th birthday and raise some money for Hope HIV. And he came to me with that idea, and I always wanted to do something when I retired. What it was going to be, I don't know. So this was just one opportunity to get stuck into something and get the old competitive juices flowing again. You need a challenge, do you? I just constantly need to give myself a challenge, otherwise I get bored and restless and frustrated.
So this is your first, it may well not be your last, well, unless you don't come back.
No, it definitely won't be my last in term. I don't know in what degree others will take, but I just need challenges in my life, and I enjoy undertaking them in the preparation.
So what are you expecting to come up against once you start your trek?
I think the mental side of it will be the toughest, because it's a lot of time on your feet. It's 16 hours a day, you get roughly 4 hours sleep, and then you're off again. That's just so you can hit the markers set out by the race team. So you've got deadlines along the way to reach. If you don't reach them, they pull you from the race. So our goal is to finish it. We're not worried about being the quickest, because there are guys out there who weigh about 3 stone and do it a lot quicker than us, and have been doing this their whole lives. So they're going to win it, we're going to complete it. And bearing in mind only 40% of the people that started it last year completed it. That's a tough enough challenge in itself. So
just finishing is winning, really, isn't it?
So for us, just finishing is the goal, especially when we've got, no disrespect to Phil, Phil's 50. Alan's an Arctic explorer, so it should be bread and butter for him. But if we didn't have him along, to be honest, we probably wouldn't have finished it, because it is, you know, the demand in terms of the preparation and the training and the kit and everything like that has been a real eye opener having Alan along as well.
So what conditions are you expecting?
So conditions can be completely variable. So last year they had -50 and real blizzard conditions. Sometimes the race organisers won't let them go out in that sort of temperature, but the guy we spoke to, Mark Hines, pushed on. Or it can get to -5 or +5 sometimes, but that obviously makes the going much harder, because the snow then melts, becomes very soft underfoot, and then reaching those targets becomes then very, very challenging indeed. Water, you know, you succumb to sort of overflow, where the water starts to melt and gets onto the track, and you know, as soon as you get wet and then you get cold again, frostbite and all those sorts of issues occur. And
you're walking, or are you pulling sledges or anything?
So we're sledges, yeah. We're a 3-man team pulling sledges, all our kit that we need.
For each night? And
for eight nights, yeah. So cookers and food and clothes. Well, you take one spare change of clothes, you'll live in one set pretty much for the duration. You know, snowshoes potentially. Emergency kits, sat phones, so in case, you know, worst case scenario you get lost or you need extracting.
Polar bears?
No, they're significantly few that they don't worry about the impact of bears, brown bears, polar bears, whatever it may be. So on other expeditions around the world that have been sort of asked, invited to do, but unable to do because of this challenge. They do take rifles and stuff because of that threat. But
so what training have you done, Lewis? I mean, it's this is something that you've not even remotely got close to doing.
No.
As fit and physical and determined as you have been over the years to achieve what you've achieved, this is something totally different.
Yeah, it's all very much endurance based, so long, time consuming periods of training. So sort of we go down onto Breen Sands, get the sledges out, harness up and throw a load of sand in the sledges and mimic, you know, the hour-long sort of walks down Breen Sands as if it was the snow. It's the closest you can really get to sort of simulating what it would be like. So we do sort of 2, 3, 4 hours out and then the same back. Early starts, cold. It was cold down there last time, which was good.
There's cold and there's cold.
Yeah, obviously nowhere near as cold as it's going to be. That's just preparation, getting the body and the back and the legs used to the routine of just towing a sledge. Because it's like, well, for me, it's very much the grind. It's like a constant grind. You know, the joints and the sort of ligaments take a strain rather than that anaerobic endurance that you need to be a rugby player, short, sharp, intense, really lung bursting.
It's a different sort of fitness altogether, isn't it?
Very much, totally different. It's really mental and it's psychology. You know, you're one behind each other for 16 hours at a time. It's pretty dull. And just the fact, you know, as soon as you get to the back, Alan's told me about this thing called leader's legs. The guy that's in the front, doesn't matter how tired he is always going to be able to go quicker than the guy at the back, just because that being at the front gives you that sudden burst. And it's true, we've done it on the beach, all of a sudden you're at the back, you're knackered, you're trying to keep up with someone. When you're in the front, you just go and set your pace, and so it's getting that right. Alan's got really short legs, I've got really long legs, so I have to adjust my pace at the front when he's at the back, and vice versa. It's just being very precise and focused on each other and your own well-being.
So you go on, you actually, day one is?
So day one starts the 3rd of Feb, we go on the 30th of Jan.
Okay, but between now and then obviously lots and lots of training.
Lots of training, we're doing some cold weather, we're doing 48 hours in Glenshee, just hopefully find some snow and mimic some of the routines that we're going to do. So how we're going to stop, so every 3 hours stop for 15 minutes, drink some snacks, go again 3 hours, and then you keep doing that, and then we'll have a 4-hour break for sleep at some point, and then go again, 4 hours break after 16 hours walking. So we get 3 good days in, which would be a good rehearsal for the 8 days. It'd be nothing really in comparison, because you just don't know otherwise what you're going to come up against.
Yeah. But one thing for sure, I mean, rugby players should be quite good at this sort of thing mentally, because you've been asked a few times to dig quite deep, haven't you?
Yeah.
And you will be asked to dig deep over those 8 days. So, you know, hopefully, mentally, it'll be tough, but something that you should be able to meet.
Yeah, I think, you know, the demands that are put on us during the training when I was a player, you'd like to think that you'll match up to that quite reasonably, but until you put yourself in the situation, you never know. My mindset has always been one thing that's driven me and seen me through things, so I don't worry about myself in that situation. It's just how my body will hold up, you know, knees, joints, ankles, elbows, shoulders, although it's all lower limb really because of the walking, but how they'll cope, and the hips in particular with the sleds, so because they're fixed poles, so it causes friction on the hips.
Emotionally right now, excited?
Just
slightly
excited.
nervous?
No, it's just genuinely excited. You know, we're going through all the kit preparation, we're getting sponsors on board now, doing all the media, so getting it out there so people are aware of it, and then it's going to be just pushing the Just Giving site.
And you know, it's tough, isn't it, for any professional sports person in pretty much any sport when they retire, especially when they're forced to retire, which was in your case. You know, in an ideal world, you know, there might have been another couple of years in you, but you know, you just got battered. And it's tough for sports people, isn't it, to find anything even remotely that replaces. How can you possibly replace running out in front of 82,000 people at Twickenham, leading your country? It's not easy, but I guess this is something, isn't it?
Yeah, I just needed to focus. Like, you can't ever replace all those emotions that are created by playing for your country or your club. but you can find other ways of focusing your needs, your energy. And this for me is one great way of doing it. You almost need more of them on a... The only difficult thing about it is that because with rugby it's a daily process of daily training and constant competition every day. You don't really have that as much with this. So it's just getting used to the training and focusing on the kit and the real physical challenge then comes in another 12 weeks, 10 weeks when we actually undertake it. So you almost sort of need more every day and just trying to find more and more things to do that give you that competitive satisfaction, which I constantly feel like I miss at the minute.
Yeah, so you suspect, without looking too far ahead, this may be the first, but it isn't necessarily going to be the last.
It definitely will. I mean, everything depends on what you ultimately end up doing as a job. At the minute I'm loving all the media stuff I'm doing, the talk sport and the commentary of the games and Sky News. That's all great fun. You end up doing a lot of dinners and talks and too many 3-course meals followed with a glass of wine, and that's all interesting. I'm enjoying that. There's another sort of string to your bow, but ultimately I'd like one focus, one direction that takes me, and I'm yet to really decide what that is. I have an idea, but until I can really knuckle down and commit the time to organising it, then I won't know 100%.
All right, Lewis. Well, we'll catch up with you again before you head off into the wilds of North America. But keep training, and we'll speak to you soon.
Thank you very much.